I've been a music coach for over 11 years now. And in that time, I've learned a lot of things. And I have learned how to simplify what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're learning, especially when it comes to music. And so today, I wanted to talk about a very particular question that all of us get asked when we start learning and especially continue to play music. And so that question is, can you play me a song? And it's a nerve-wracking question because as excited as we are to learn something, learn an instrument, participate in it, and get to live out that fantasy that we have embodied into our minds, nerves come to play. And a lot of times that stops us. So my goal as a coach for all of my students is to make sure that whenever we get asked that very, very simple question, can you play me a song, to never say no. It's a very simple request, and a lot can come out of it. A lot of joy, community, communication, connection can come from that one act of music, this little performance. So I think it's also important for us to change that question a little bit and understand what they're really asking. They're not just asking for a song. What are people really asking? They're really asking you, not can you play me a song, they're asking, can you play me a pattern? Because that's all music is. It's just an organized way of connecting notes and rhythms. It's just a different way of organizing notes and rhythms. That's all it is. So let's put it this way. Let's put drawing as our example. Okay, so if you have little cousins, kids, young ones, and you ask them to draw something for you, it's very adorable. And if you give them a simple request, for example, and you ask them, can you draw me a triangle? And they think about it and they go, you go, oh, I recognize that. And you know what that is. What is in my head is also in your head. And then you ask them to draw another shape. So you go, okay. And you go, oh, wow, awesome. You recognize what I am saying. You understand the words that I'm saying, and then you have that in your head. What I have in my head is what you have in your head. And the list goes on. We can just do different shapes. We can do a circle. We can do a trapezoid. And the more shapes that we can connect, the more that we feel we connect with that other person on this existential plane. And it's very important to understand these shapes and that there's a definite start and stop. You know where this square started and ended, you can see where this circle started and ended, and you can see where this triangle started and ended. And we need that. It helps us recognize a definitive idea. And take this, for example, if you ask someone to draw you something, and they kind of thought about it, and they kind of went, and they kind of just kept going all over the place. And they just, at one point, stop. Is that art? Sure, maybe to some people. Is that a drawing? Sure. Can we see effort? Yes. What's missing is an idea, is that definitive thing. If a child drew this for you, 1, it's adorable. 2, we can see the effort. And 3, we can see that you're starting to get the idea and you're starting to understand the mechanics of moving. However, there's still this layer that's missing from our perspective as grown adults. We see what's missing is a clear idea, a definitive start and stop. That's what bugs a lot of people about someone like Jackson Pollock, where it's just all over the place. And the idea is in the thought itself, not in the creation itself. But that's not what people like about music. People like music for their ideas, definitive shapes and patterns. So what are some very simple shapes and patterns that we can distinguish? So I have a book here that I will be displaying right here. And so a very simple idea is a song called A Clair de la Lune. And it goes something like this if I were singing in solfege. Do, 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 very simple idea. There's a very clear start point and very clear end point. And so that's one pattern. I also like to call them shapes. That's one way to organize notes and rhythms. Here are the exact same notes, slightly different rhythms. And you tell me if you recognize this song. Mi, re, do, mi, re, do, 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 re, 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 mi, re, do. That is a second way to organize those exact same notes with slightly different rhythms, but we can say that it's a different pattern. Then your parents and your friends and family will be very, very surprised and very eager to hear more. Oh, if you recognize that pattern, what else do you recognize? What else do you know? Can you play me another pattern? Can you play me another song? So here's one more example. Mi, re, do, re, mi, 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 re, 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 mi, so, so, mi, re, do, re, mi, 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 re, re, mi, re, do. Awesome. That is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Just a very simple idea, very simple pattern that we all recognize from very early ages to even now. It's a very simple idea for us to pass along. So I think it's important to understand this idea of what people are really asking when they ask you the question, can you play me a song? And I want you to think, can you play me a pattern? My hope is that you grasp the idea that you just need more ideas in your head. You just need a collection of ideas. And that will help you just play. And the hope is that you don't say the word no when you get asked that question. You can say, sure, yes. Do you have any requests when you get to that point? Or you can just play them the things that you know, even if they are just simple songs like the ones that I demonstrated. I hope that you take that into consideration. My goal as a coach is to make sure that you feel confident in your playing, that you feel confident in your abilities, and that you feel confident in your situation. I never want my students to say the word no when asked that question. And I hope you find a way to go around that anxiety and that nerves. It's important to have nerves because it means that you care, but it's also important that you don't allow them to stop you. I hope you picked up music because you enjoy it, and I hope you continue because you enjoy it. Until the next time, my name is Christian. I'll see you then.